The first thing you learned on the job as a hollower was to never trust your eyes. Nash, of course, had a different way of saying it. All sorcery is half illusion. The other half, unfortunately, was blood-soaked terror. In that moment, though, I wasn't scared. I was as angry as a spitting cat. They'd left me behind. Again. I braced my hands on either side of the garden shed's doorframe, drawing as close as I could to the enchanted passageway without entering. Hollowers called these dark tunnels veins because they carried you from one location to another in an instant. In this case, to the vault of a long-dead sorceress, containing her most prized possessions. I checked the time on the cracked screen of Nash's ancient cell phone. It had been 48 minutes since I watched them disappear into the vein. I hadn't been able to run fast enough to catch up, and if they'd heard my shouts, they'd ignored me. The phone screen blinked to black as the battery finally croaked. "Hello?" I called, fiddling with the key they'd left in the lock. One of the sorceress's finger bones dipped into a bit of her blood. "I'm not going back to camp, so you may as well just tell me when it's safe to come in. Do you hear me?" Only the passage answered, breathing out whirls of snow. Great. The sorceress Edda had chosen to put her collection of relics somewhere even colder than England in the winter. The fact that Cabell and Nash weren't answering had my insides squirming. But Nash had never been deterred by the promise of danger, and he was about to discover I wouldn't be deterred by anyone, least of all my rotten bastard of a guardian. "Cabell?" I said, louder this time. The cold gripped my words, leaving white streaks in the air. A shiver rippled through me. "Is everything all right? I'm coming in whether you want me to or not." Of course, Nash had taken Cabell with him. Cabell was useful to him. But if I wasn't there, there was no one to make sure my brother didn't end up hurt, or worse. The sun was shy, hiding behind silver clouds. Behind me, an abandoned stone cottage kept watch over the nearby fields. The air was quiet, which always stirred up my nerves. I held my breath, straining my ears to listen. No humming traffic, no drone of passing airplanes, not even a chirp from a bird. It was like everyone else knew better than to come to this cursed place, and Nash was the only idiot too stupid and greedy to risk it. But a moment later, a fresh wave of snow carried Cabell's voice to me. "Tamsin?" He sounded excited, at least. "Watch your head as you come in." I plunged into the vein's disorienting darkness. Outside was nothing compared to the barbed cold that wrapped around me now, knifing at my skin until I couldn't draw breath. In 2 steps, the round doorway at the other end of the vein carved itself out of the black air. In 3, it became a vivid wall of ghostly light. Blue, almost like... I glanced down at the broken chunks of ice scattered around the doorway, at the swirling cursed sigils carved into them. I turned, searching for Cabell, but a hand caught me, stopping me in my tracks. "I told you to stay at the camp." With his headlamp on, Nash's face was in shadow, but I could feel the anger radiating from him like the warmth from his skin. "We'll have words about this, Tamsin." "What are you going to do? Ground me?" I asked, riding high on my victory. "Perhaps I will, you wee fool," he said. "Never do anything without knowing the cost." The light from his headlamp danced over me, then swung upward,